Today I'd like to give you an introduction to the Horizon SB-09 VF Perfect Binding System. The SB-09 VF is a 9-clamp perfect binder. It's capable of running up to 4,000 books per hour when running together in line with a gathering system, which I'll touch on a little bit later. The way we're configured here today, we're configured for digital book block production. So we'll be hand dropping onto an automatic in-feed conveyor to the system. In that mode or that configuration, the system maxes out at 3,000 books per hour. The system can also be a hybrid system which can utilize the digital book block in-feed as well as gathering pockets attached to the end of the system, allowing you to handle both your traditional longer run offset perfect bound book applications in your longer run lengths, or doing your digital work, either dropping the books onto a conveyor or actually having that conveyor fed from an upfeed system like a Hunkler plow-fold system producing glue-tacked book blocks to automatically feed into the perfect binding line. So a very flexible system. The SB-09 is capable of producing by specification up to 1.77 inch in thickness of the book blocks. However, I will say that we have several customers that we've done a slight modification to the system to allow them to reach a requirement of 2 inches that they have within their operation, and that works quite well. The systems are available with EVA or hot melt adhesive, or as you can see here to the right, we also have PUR tank available as well. With our open tank PUR system, we utilize Teflon coated tank, Teflon coated rollers, and all the components in that area do have that Teflon barrier on them to make it easy to clean the PUR out of the system when that time comes. To change over from a PUR to an EVA system is quite simple. The cover is removed. You can see you have 2 locking handles. If we loosen those and unlock the system, it rolls out on casters and the PUR tank runs in, and that's really what your conversion is. Your side glue tank is a separate tank, so it doesn't matter whether it's using PUR or EVA prior to the book having the side glue attached to it. The system is, we call it CABS, which stands for Computer Automated System Binding System. The system does have a great deal of automation in it. So what do I mean by that? Setup can be done from a touch screen. So we hit the touch screen and we can enter in the dimensions required for a book job setup. For example, thickness of the book, length of the spine, height of the book block, length and width of the cover, and cover registration. Those can be entered by simply touching the shadow box and putting your number in, or you can utilize the slide caliper system, which allows us to simply slide the caliper up to the edge of the book block, get the height, get the length, get your cover registration, corner registration, send that information to the binder, and the binder will set up automatically without you having to insert those numbers into the system. What does set up automatically once you enter that information is all of your raceway guides going all the way back to the feeder are going to set up for the thickness of the book block. The in-feed to the bottom of the carriage clamp sets up automatically. Your carriage clamp pre-opening sets automatically. Your milling guide plate over your milling station will set for the thickness of the book block. Your side glue rollers set automatically based on that thickness. Cover registration, cover scoring, nipper table, cover alignment, the raceway for the delivery of the book blocks also set automatically based on that information, as well as the right angle device at the exit of the binder and the accumulating stacker, which stacks the books before we deliver the books down to the trimmer. The trimmer sets up from a separate touchscreen, but just as automated as we're referring to here. In fact, if you use barcode on your cover to drive this changeover on your perfect binder, there's no manual or even touching of the screen required. When it sees a new barcode, it knows you're changing, for example, from a 6x9 to a 9x10 book. that'll all happen automatically and on the fly. So very, very automated in the system. And that's what makes this system productive at 4,000 or 3,000 per hour in the digital book feed mode to handle the long runs. But also because of the changeover time, we're able to do a good number of jobs during the course of the day with changeover taking just a matter of minutes. So making a complete change, let's say from an 8.5 by 11 book down to a 5 by 8 book, all the way through the system, you're less than 5 minutes to do that changeover. And we'll show you that when we get into running. So first thing I'm going to do is start the binder up so that I can show you some books processing through the system. So these book blocks that I'm going to be processing for you now are cut sheet, they're loose sheet, so there's no tacking on them. They were produced on a Hunkler roll to stack line with offset separation. When I drop a book block onto the conveyor, the first book block goes down and gets calipered. That caliper is now going to set up all those dimensions that I told you previously, the raceways that advance the book down and into the binder, the carriage clamps, the side glue, the scoring, the cover registration, all that sets up in about 30 seconds. And now you're ready to begin your production by dropping the books onto the conveying system. The 3-knife trimmer utilizes a 3-knife cutting system, so the head, the foot, and the face knife are all individual, basically paper guillotines that adjust automatically based on the untrimmed dimension and the finished size that we're looking to produce. So here you can see the finished product that we've run through the machine. Okay, let's go back. The next thing I'd like to demonstrate to you is how quick the machine can change over from one thickness to another when working within the same size format. So let me just grab some signatures here. So this book block, for example, is twice as thick as the book block that we were just producing. So we're going to turn this back on. And here I'm going from loose cut sheet to folded signatures. The system is now changing over for that new thickness. So you can see we've gone to 8.6 on the thickness of the book block from the previous, which was about 4.9, I believe. Now that book's going to process through, and we'll show you what our first book looks like coming out of the system. So this is the book that we were producing. This is our second book coming off the system. Nice square spine, accurate cover registration. Now I'll change over to another thickness for you. Again, we're taking that measurement. The book block is now 12.6 inches. Not 12.6 inches. 12.6 millimeters, I believe. Everything is set automatically. And there you can see the quick changeover, the quality of the registration, the corners of the book, nice sharp spines. My hinge scores are also in the proper position. So next I'm going to change the machine over to a complete format size change. And when I say format size change, that means the binder, the accumulator and stacker, the 3-knife trimmer, all changing over thickness and book format size. So I'm going to go to a job that I previously stored in memory, which is a small format book. I need to just stop the machine from running, open that job up. Say OK. It's going to ask me to remove the covers because we're changing from a large format to a smaller format cover. And I can go ahead and do that setup now. While that's changing over, I'm going to walk over to the trimmer. And because I do not have barcodes on the cover to drive my changeover, I'm going to tell this that I want to run small books. Begin my change over here. We'll return back over to the cover feeder of the binder. And let's just see if that's set up to the proper size for us. Yes, it has, but I probably want to change over a sucker foot to a stopper, so that I have good vacuum on that cover. You can take quite a large lift and you can load the covers on the fly while the machine is running. So now we're going to run the smaller book blocks, thicker book block. These are 32-page signatures that we're running with. The machine is setting up for this thickness. After about 30 seconds, we begin our production. The books are accumulating into stacks of 4 at the accumulator. And being processed down to the HT1000V, which will automatically measure the height of that stack and adjust accordingly. And here you can see the finished product. Nice square, even spines, and accurate cutting. So that was a pretty quick changeover. Now I'm going to change back over to the larger format just to demonstrate the cover book block matching feature of the system as well. So once my last stack has gone through the trimmer, I can make my changeover on this system because this happens to be where I'm standing. So we're going to go to a large book with barcode matching. Pull that out of memory. You can store jobs by memory, by job title or by size format. Up to 999 jobs can be stored into memory. So this system is changing over. Once that's completed, we'll hit the start button on it, and then we'll walk over to the binder. Setup is complete. The square footage that we're sitting in here with this configuration is about 35 by 35 square feet, depending upon how many cooling conveyors you go with, whether you have gathering pockets. That'll affect the overall length of the system. For example, each gathering section that you add on to the end of the system, which is 6 pockets, is about 10 feet per gathering. I'm running right now with a very short cooling conveyor because of the space I have available on my floor. I would recommend probably double this cooling conveyor to allow enough time for your books to cure properly before doing the trimming. I'm going to remove my covers because I know the machine is going to ask me to do that anyways. Replace the sucker foot I had removed earlier when we changed format size. Come to my setup screen. I'm going to choose variable with cover matching. I'm sorry, let's see, which is cover matching? Variable with cover matching. We'll go with this one. Setup is complete. We'll start the machine in the idling mode. Walk down to the feeding station. We can start the binder up. I'm going to check the book blocks to make sure that the barcode is the correct one. Then we can begin our production. This is the wrong barcode on this book block. So that should be about the 5th book block coming out of the binder. We should see a mismatch. And the book block will be rejected at the reject station. There you can see the book has been rejected. While all the other books are going through, let's take a look at that book that did reject. Here you can see we have a cover barcode of 091, and we have a book block barcode of 101, giving us that mismatch. And of course, our books are delivering down to our trimmer. So now we've completed that run. We've shown 2 different book size formats. We've shown 3 different thicknesses. We've shown the ability to do book block and cover matching utilizing the barcode. As I mentioned earlier, the system also does have the capability of putting in line up to 36 gathering stations with 6 stations to each one of those sections. The gathering system, the MG600, has miss detection, double detection, pack detection, and camera recognition on each one of the feeding stations, and is also a very simple system to set up. It also has the option of an inline stacker, which can also serve as a reject station, for example, when a miss or a double is detected from one of the gathering pockets. The system, as you see it here, as I mentioned earlier, fits into about 35 by 35 square feet, and depending upon how we configure out your system, we can provide you with a drawing showing that configuration. We are also hooked up with the SB-09V today with IceLink, so if we turn your attention to the screen behind me, you can see that we are monitoring production on the machine, giving efficiency, showing any errors that may occur. We can gather KPI data. We can compare production of operator to operator, shift to shift, or shop to shop. So a very good tool for assisting you in maximizing your uptime on the system. If you have any questions, reach out to one of our sales representatives in your area, or feel free to contact me, Bob Flynn at Standard Finishing, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you and have a great day.